Hi, my name's Lee. I'm a small business person. As far back as I can remember, I've been in some kind of business. I've recently, I'm the owner of a couple of newspapers. One of the things I found in our newspaper business is as long as we're telling the everyday news, people are okay. But when we start to talk about something that affects free speech or opinion, people get all up in arms and they try to shut down. At one point we had somebody who disliked the column that was written after they never read past the first paragraph, and they went and began calling all our advertisers, intimidating them, and causing them to want to flee from our newspaper. Many years ago I was in radio, and during that time I was in radio, what I found was that we have what we call free speech, and over the years I've watched that free speech begin to disappear in our lives. One of the reasons I'm doing what I do now is because I believe people have a right to know what's going on. I believe people have a right to know what, other people think. And I think that when we try to shut down that process, whether or not I agree with the people that are on the other side of the coin or not, I think we're going to run into problems. I don't agree with many things that are said by both sides of the political spectrum, whether it be Republican or Democrat. But I think in my own belief schedule, I ought to be able to have a right to convey that. And so one of the things I've thought about as a small business person, when I was young, when I was a child, probably 5 or 6 years old, I began to go next door, and I was one of those kids that the neighbors probably didn't like because I was always selling seeds or something related to Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts. And then I started a lawn mowing business, and by the time I was 10, I was working as a mechanic doing mechanical work and things like that. And just as I grew up through the years, I always was doing something. I like the freedom that comes from small business. In recent days, I've seen what seems to be an effort to shut down a lot of the small businesses that I see that I work with. I have some friends that have advertised, and what they've found is that when somebody on one of these radio stations would say something that wasn't liked, all of a sudden there seemed to be this onslaught, and some people are even calling it terrorism. But regardless of what we call it, we all have the right to free speech. Whether I agree with you or not does not mean that I disagree with your right to say that. So when I got jacked up about a column that was in my newspaper, I made the decision back then to start a website called Keep Strong Values. And what I'm asking you to do now is to consider what your value system is. This particular website deals with values that I consider important. I believe that family is important. I believe that working locally is important, which pretty much encompasses many of the small businesses that I see and work with. I also believe that my ability and my desire to be conservative, not only in my personal life but in my political belief, I think I have a right to that. I think that's part of the political process. As a Christian, I find that a lot of my things that I believe are under attack. Now, I give you the right to say what you want to say, but when you begin to infringe upon me, then I have to wonder, where do we draw the line in free speech? I am quickly learning that if I want my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren to know what's going on in the world, I'm going to have to bring it forth. And to do that, I've started this website called KeepStrongValues.com. And I hope you'll take a moment and go to KeepStrongValues.com. And right now, this week, until we get through the month of April, as we're building it up, I want you to take a moment, and I want you to go up there and be a friend of ours, if you wouldn't mind, and put it up. And this is a stand for what you believe within the categories that I've mentioned. You can be a friend, you can be a church, you can be a ministry, you can be a business. Whatever it is, right now it's free. And so whatever goes on between now and the end of the month is going to be free. So I just encourage you right now to take a moment and go do this. If you have any questions, email me, call me, whatever it takes. Respond to this video. But I really would appreciate your input. I would like to see you jump on board with us. And I just thank you. God bless you. God bless all the small businesses throughout our nation. Thank you.